Hello and welcome to yet another episode of The Coin Republic. Today we've got someone very special with us. So if you're new on this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because on this channel we talk about things, exciting things that are happening in the world right now. As a guest of honor, we have today someone very extremely talented. And when I say extremely talented, trust me. A few days back when I got to know about her and I started researching about her on the internet, I found out phenomenal things about her. She is an amazing artist, a beautiful mother of 4 kids, and a phenomenal singer and a songwriter. Vessy Mink. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Akshat. Thank you so much for that loving, warm welcome. So nice to meet you and so nice to be here on the Coin Republic with you.
Super excited for this conversation, Vessy. How are you doing and how is everything going on?
Everything is good. You know, Gong Si Fat Sai, 15 years of Lunar New Year celebration starting yesterday. So it was also my daughter's birthday. Things are going well. We're celebrating life. We're making art together, supporting unity. And there's a lot going on in the real world and in the very real metaverse.
Fantastic. So, Vessy, my first question to you would be regarding your journey. I see that you are an independent artist based out of Chicago who produces her own songs from your home studio. So, I would love to know a little bit about your journey. What inspired you to become an artist and what made you who you are today?
That's a great question, Akshat. Thank you. I would have to give my big ups to my family, to my grandmother who sang to me when I was a little girl, a baby, and my father who had a guitar in the house always and who dreamed of being an opera singer, who could have been, has still the most gorgeous voice, and my older sister, Ansha, who was an early songwriter because my father had the guitar there, and we did songs all the time, Bulgarian songs, duets with my father, and so traditional Bulgarian music, Christmas time with real candles on the tree with my German mother, and our, singing before we open up the gifts because the gifts is being together in the song. So I would have to say songwriting specifically, my sister, huge Ansha, huge inspiration from an early time. I was just sitting there listening, wanting to be part of it. And she was writing these children's songs to, entertain me. She's 7 years my elder, so.
That's how you started.
Yes. In a band. So our first band together. So eventually, thank you for bringing on the conversation more. I was ready to stop there, but there's so much more to tell, Akshat. So thank you. So when I was 16, she said, "Hey, you want to be in the band with me in a band? I'm starting a band." And I said, "Oh, I want to be in a band. Are you kidding? I've only been here for the past however many years, like your biggest fan, So she started a band called Just Blame Eve, as in Adam and Eve, Blame Eve. And I was a background singer and the tambourine player, and I did harmonies, and she taught me and sculpted my abilities and was very strict with wanting it to sound just right. And so our first performance, one of them, was at Woman Made Gallery, which is a non-for-profit gallery my mother started 30 years ago. And we did a performance there, and only 1 year we were together because, as anyone who's ever been in a band knows, things happen.
Right.
Yeah, we grow and we keep growing.
That's fantastic. In fact, I was reading about you on the internet and I read somewhere that you're the first generation singer and songwriter. That's what I read somewhere.
So then technically my sister would be the first generation singer songwriter, Ansha, because she's 7 years my elder. But yes, I was born in the States in Chicago, and my father came from Bulgaria in the late 60s, and he escaped communism. This is the sweater he was wearing when he came to this country, actually.
Oh, wow, you still have it.
In 60s. Yes, he just gave it to me a month ago, and it's I love this sweater. It's a little tattered, but I appreciate what it stands for. And so the question was, we got caught up on the sweater. I'm sorry.
So I read somewhere that you are the first generation singer and songwriter from your family.
So then I would be the second because my sister would be the first. But anyone that's ever written a song in our family, I'd have to give them props, because some people think that they can't write a song or that they shouldn't. And I always think that we're always writing something, a song, creating some work of art. So technically speaking, the second in my family. So that is the correction.
But I think still first and second, not much of a difference, right? You and your sister would be somewhere similar, right? 7 years
Yeah,
is
I'm
not
trying
that of
to.
a
She started writing songs first, and so she paved the way. And she was the one that, when John Lennon died, I was only 4 years old, and we were huge, and still Beatles, huge inspiration. And I remember that day, somebody's trying to call me. I have to send a voicemail. Apologies. Are you there? I'm so sorry about that.
no
Somebody
problem.
was calling me. I think I might have forgotten to turn my notifications off.
No problem.
See, now I'm getting nervous. Just kidding. I don't know if I ever get nervous anymore. But what I was saying was that, what was I saying?
Anyways, so let's go on to the next questions. You were talking about John Lennon died, you were 4 years old.
Yes, the first generation, but there was more to that about just songs and structure of songs and first inspirations, and my sister being inspired hugely by Prince and hugely by Stevie Nicks. And so our first song together, actually my first time on stage was with my sister, because she accompanied me on guitar.
Okay.
And I sang a song called Beautiful Child that she showed me from Stevie Nicks, which is a gorgeous song. And I was 9. And so I was in 4th grade, and it was the first time I ever sang on stage, and she was there.
Wow.
So I wish I just had that video. I don't know if anybody videotaped it. So that was a while back.
Right. Fantastic. So Vessy, you're in such a creative profession. You ever
Yes.
face a creative block? Sometimes does it happen that you're not able to find ideas and not able to find creativity in what you do?
Not lately. I'd say the past 6-7 years have been just like, it's like nonstop, but now it's even becoming more so because there's so many opportunities online, and people that need songs created, schoolmates of my children that don't want to go to school, that need songs written for them to make them want to go to school. I write those kinds of songs. I was a teacher at the Old Town School of Folk Music for a little while, about 4 years, doing a Wiggleworms program where I was like a songwriting teacher, leader with the parents and their children.
Right.
And I think that
So no longer creativity block.
No.
Then how do you find inspiration for your next song?
Everywhere. If somebody needs a song, that's like my favorite thing to do, even if it might interrupt another song I'm working on, because I feel like divine intervention, and the moment that the song is needed, I track it right away. I have a ton of voice memos, thousands on my phone. Lots of them have not been developed, but such great in the moment things I like to, they're important to me. I say such great, but I mean, like, they're really important. I get them out. So I think as artists, we need to get them out.
Right. That's fantastic. So you're a mother of 4 kids. So on one hand, you have to take care of family, and on the other hand, you have creative pursuits. Right?
Yes.
So your creative pursuits on one hand, taking care of family. You must be a superwoman. How do you manage everything?
Oh no, I'm definitely not a superwoman. No, and my grandmother, my German grandmother, who actually left about 5 years ago, this plane, she said to me on the phone, as my kids were much younger then, make sure your children know that you're not a superwoman. You are a human being with needs as well, and they need to know and respect that. So I'm not a superwoman. I fall short often. I get back up, clean myself off, engage in courageous dialogue with those who I've, come across the crossroads where you have you didn't do it right. You made a mistake. You're still learning. You're human. So I have a very organic upbringing in that way, with a lot of honesty coming from my parents, my grandparents, and everybody really that around has something to offer of wisdom, but especially our families and where we come from in our core.
That's so beautiful. It takes a lot of courage to accept all of these things, and I really appreciate you for that. I think I see that you're very authentic when you talk. Is that something inborn or something you developed over time?
I think I'm really comfortable with being me now. I think when I was growing up, I didn't know who I was. yet and was afraid to find out, and went a lot of different places to find out. So in doing that, you know, I think I have to say gratitude to my parents for allowing me to, you know, take on the world, if you will. I moved to LA when I was 22 from Chicago. I'd never been to LA. I lived there 10 years pursuing and doing music. I did a musical residency in France. I met a ton of people in Los Angeles, got into documentary filmmaking and collective. I lived in a space with 13 people, and then in another space called LAFCO, LA Film Cooperative, LAFCO, in the old powerhouse in Venice with a ton of artists. And basically what was created with these two brilliant minds was they fashioned, I don't know if you've been to Home Depot or pallet racks. If you know what those are, you probably know what pallet racks are. They're like small space. So in Home Depot, they have these, you know, layers and layers of shelving, if you will, big time shelving, right? And for these big home improvement things that people want to buy. So Freeman basically said, hey, I think I want to like construct a whole Lego system of these creative spaces and do something incubator. Like, let's make this like, but this was the LA Film Cooperative, right? So Los Angeles Film Cooperative. Yeah, that was like a year of insanity because there were so many artists that were like wanting the space to create, but they didn't have the platform, you know? Right. And tech was also in there, you know, Ray Stedding was doing like a broadcast through the Linux Public Broadcasting Network. He'd always have his camera, tons of digital tapes, tons of just like document. Joe Ray from Popology, that's where I met Joe Ray. Popology is the science of popular and what your personal popular is, and creating that and monetizing it on the blockchain, and then ledgering that to like make change in the world. So these are people I'm working with now. So that's just one thing I could go off on another tangent with, but I think I'll pull myself back in there. So
lots of adventure.
Yeah, lots of adventure. And I like to talk. Can you tell?
That's lovely. So Vessy, I was going through your LinkedIn profile, and I also got to know that as a volunteer, you helped kids as a music therapist.
Well, I technically I'm not a musical therapist, but I didn't go to school for it. But I did volunteer to the Art of Elysium, which is a program that brings in musicians for healing purposes, bedside. So children with leukemia who are having like these insane drugs administered, very painful. I would go in there into the, you know, the rooms, the community rooms where there'd be a bunch of kids with, you know, they'd have their medicine, the IV, and I would play music for hours. And so that organization was founded by Jennifer Howell, and that organization is just phenomenal. And they bring lots of big name acts now into the hospital, Children's Hospital. I think Jennifer's vision was to have that happening in every hospital across the world, ultimately. But they've been very successful in Los Angeles, and I'm not actually sure where else they're doing that. But yeah, the Art of Elysium, beautiful, beautiful organization run by a very strong, passionate, God-loving woman. Yeah.
Wow. I felt that was very beautiful, and it really touched me seeing that so many people are doing so good work in the world.
It's important. I think that's why we're here, right?
Absolutely.
I think now the biggest way I can give back is to write a song for someone, you know. But as soon as, if Jennifer was like, come to the hospital for this week, or, you know, if somebody, I very much like when people have the idea and they think of me, because I'm so busy right now that, and if they have the idea and they think of me, I'll make time for it. But then that also leads to slight frustrations and collaborations where people have a mindset of, I got to get this done right now because I have this, like, you know, this set mind on when it needs to happen. So I guess it's what keeps the art going is when you're doing it from your heart. And so have I made a lot of money with the art? No, you know, I haven't. But I don't look down on that. I see it as a riches that are beyond comprehension in, you know, numerical form. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, definitely.
Yeah.
So, Vessy, I am a creator. I'm a content creator. And when I create content and just before I publish it, a lot of times a fear of judgment goes through my head. I think whether my audience is going to like it, they're not going to like it. And sometimes that paralyzes my ability to create content. That paralyzes my ability to create content.
Yeah.
Have you ever had such instances while creating songs?
So do you work, so Akshat, are you, am I saying your name right? I hope I'm saying it
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Good.
You're saying my name
And
right.
what does it mean?
So when you create something, right, you sometimes have this thought that you don't know whether the audience will like it or not because you're creating something new. Right?
Yes.
So
Oh,
does
I
that
meant,
thought sometimes stop you from creating songs, or has it ever happened in the past?
where, if they're gonna like it or not.
Some kind
I
of fear
can't,
of judgment
I've
regarding what
always
you're
been
creating?
judged. I grew up judged, lots of judgment all the time, from my name, Vesselina is my whole name, to all sorts of judgments. I don't think I can comprehend that, because I'm not sure that I've created anything that I think I've let go of being part of it once I create it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if somebody else has a part, I don't know if you're collaborating with people, but if somebody else has a part in the collaboration, that's like a very delicate dance that needs like a lot of attention, you know, because some partners take more than they give, right? And some partners give more than they take. So when you find like the perfect, like, you know, team, I think the content speaks for itself. So I'm sorry that is sometimes a thing for you. My advice, if I may give it to you, Akshat, is to just, you know, forget about it. They're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. They're gonna love you. Just be authentic. Your audience is there, you know, they're waiting. It's like in the Funky Eye Puppets, I'm the musical director of the first audio theater puppet troupe called the Funky Eye Puppets. And so I've learned a lot in the last 7 months with the director IPC, because he talks about courageous dialogue. He talks about those difficult conversations that need to be had. Otherwise, everything's just kind of like on the surface and there isn't any depth. There needs to be depth. There needs to be continuity. There needs to be like a purpose for the content. So I'm really into the purpose being for global uplifting. That's my purpose, and I think should be everybody. So coming back to like the you know, the reason we do art is most important, I think, to have that solidified. You know, if it's just for likes, you know, I could turn around and now ask you a few questions if you'd like me to, but I love to interview, actually. You're next. Did Sarah tell you that you're next? I'm gonna be interviewing you next.
I would love to be on that interview.
Yay! You're wonderful. You're such a delight. Thank you. And you have a beautiful smile.
Thank you for your kind words, Vessy. That really means a lot. Right. So talking about NFTs, can you tell us a little bit about your NFT projects?
Yes. And I have a few of them here because, so I'm relatively new to NFTs, only about 5 months or 6 months in. I was onboarded through the Funky Eye Puppets, through BK Han, who you know, started making 1 million copies of these NFT jingles that I would write, because he was like, hey, can you write a jingle for, you know, for all these groups that are coming together for this NFT, 99 NFT, 3-day clubhouse, 50+ hour art extravaganza. I mean, it was, so there've been 2 of those specifically, actually, 1.0 and 2.0. And so my NFTs started with jingles for BK, and then I got completely like, it, like some epiphany went off, like, oh my gosh, I can create on a platform and I can say how much it is. I can make 1 million copies of it. I can give them away. I don't need it. I can just like, and when BK sent me half of the million, 500,000, because we're like attached to numbers, right? Humans, right. Just to see the number, I have 500,000 of those. Now, if I charged, how much could I make? But instead, he's like, so are you feeling really heavy with those 500,000 NFTs? Are you feeling really heavy? Meaning like, give them away. Give them away. This is how we let people know who we are, what we're doing. Jump on board the NFT train. Let's go. So one project I'd like to talk about is the one that I did with my mother. And, you know, she's never done an NFT. She's a visual artist. Also, she was the director for Woman Made Gallery for 30 years, which I mentioned to you. You can check her out at womanmade.org. Check out the organization. And she's actually going to be awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Washington Women's Caucus of the Arts on a national level, and she deserves it.
Wow.
Because over 9,000 women and female identified artists have shown at Woman Made Gallery, and her being a co-founder. And Akshat, you might appreciate this story because she went back to college after having 5 kids. So her senior thesis was Woman Made Gallery. It was a pop-up gallery, you know, only meant to be there a month, but the need was so great that they kept it going. Now it's 30 years and 4 different buildings in the Chicago area. Now it's in Pilsen. So getting back to what I was saying in your question, one of my NFTs is with my mother, and it's called Love for You. It's called Love for You. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, I'm gonna show it to you. So this is this is her image, right?
Right.
And with it, that's the goddess. I know I don't need to tell people that, they can see. Everybody's the goddess, Akshat, right?
Right, absolutely.
And so there's a song that I've attached to it. And the song that's attached to it is a song that, so I have to like just go back a little bit. So about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, this man started Aria Nova Rhythm Collective with Roger Ebner, and he asked me to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a dear friend from Los Angeles. And actually he passed away in September. And he championed me so much and pushed me so much, like, even though you're a mom and you're busy, we got to keep making the art. We got to rock out Aria Nova Rhythm Collective. We're gonna share our stems across, like, you know, globally. We're gonna put out these songs through DistroKid. He shared all the tools with how to become the independent artist and actually have some sort of platform where people can find you. And with Aria Nova Rhythm Collective, it has friends all over the world, Chris does. And one dear friend is Piper Dellums, whose father helped end apartheid, Ron Dellums. He was a senator in Los Angeles. And he said, you need to write a song about women. And I want it to be for Piper. And he just shared kind of her story with me. And I just wrote this song. And so that's the song that's attached to the art piece of my mom's. Now that wasn't planned. I didn't that was just, oh, I need to do that, you know? So I have that one. And I believe that, you know, I did a live 15-minute to 17-minute concert with my husband on drums, and that's an NFT. You know, music live down here in our studio. We did that for Mad Bop because Mad Bop is this wonderful event, and it's a wonderful platform for events, rather, that in the metaverse on CryptoVoxels, they build this whole metaverse and they have a party there, and they have, you know, they shoot up these videos on the screen. So you have all these digital beings that are representing these real beings that are wearing wearables that are made by these artists, clothing wearables, and they're in this metaverse having this party. And for their New Year's party, they had 6,000 people go through there, you know, within 12 hours, which is quite wonderful. Yeah. And they had 24 artists, music artists and DJs, and they're going to have another one actually for Crypto Pills this Friday. They're having an event. You should come. I'll send you an invite. And so yeah, I have probably 10 NFTs.
And when can people come and buy your NFTs?
Well, they can go to OpenSea and find me on there. They can, Vessy Mink Collection, VESSY-MINK, but there's some with BK too. We have our own brand called V-Mink, and those are the digital jingles for NFT 99 and other projects that he pulled me on to, like for Tati, who is this young, I think 9 or 10-year-old Iranian girl, visual artist, like extraordinaire, who has completely conceptualized and can't stop drawing. And her parents are helping her create NFTs with BK. And so I wrote a song for her. So that's also an NFT. So there's just kind of a bunch going on.
Fantastic. So many new things, so many new NFTs. That would be fun,
Yes.
right? In your home studio, making songs, turning them into NFTs. That would be fun, right?
That's what we're doing. Let's do one. Let's do one, Akshat.
All right. So one more question I would like to ask you, Vessy. How do you think NFTs are going to change? Can you understand? Can you hear me?
How they're going to change?
How NFTs are going to change things for artists and creators?
I think it's already happening. Right. You know, I think that the divide where you have the monopoly, the money, the world, right? We've got the solidified financial side here, and then you have the artistic side. So there has to be this like connection, right? And without that connection, you know, one could fall and one rise. That's what I think about where they're going, to answer your first part of that question. And then to answer how it empowers, as I said, with learning about NFTs through Funky Eye Puppets and BK, it empowered me. Cheryl, who plays Lemonade in the puppet, she said, hey, you need to create accounts for your children. You need to start dropping NFTs in there. You need to start, you know, I think NFTs, your family lineage, your family tree, I've learned online, you know, through Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a wonderful audio, like live radio networking application.
I would love to join you on Clubhouse someday.
Please, yes. I love your energy, and I think we had a good interview, and you know, I think NFTs are empowering. People don't know so much that they're empowering it, because I think people are divided within themselves. Everybody needs somebody to say, hey, I believe in you. And so I guess
I think that happens. I think that happens whenever a new technology comes in, something new comes in. That happens every time.
People are inspired to jump on, right?
Some of them are inspired, some of them are against it. I think that's
there is this. It's interesting. You know, when people talk about like that everyone's going to be in the metaverse, you know, in these digital worlds, like our children play Roblox, they're already in there playing, that we're going to be like, you know, monetizing in there and have our stores. Okay, cool. Let's go. But I want to be in reality. Like, I don't want to walk, you know, I'm not planning on, I don't want to be taken over by it. So I understand the fear in it. Like, how do you have mental health? There has to be mental health.
I think the same thing happened before Facebook or any kind of social media came in. People said that it's going to be like this. I don't want to get into it. But today everybody uses it.
Yes, it's true. And it's interesting that Facebook changed their name to Meta for their main, you know, name. But I think that's telling also of how we have to be very careful to think about, you know, how we include everybody, because not everybody has the same tools.
Right.
So as these platforms like OpenSea and MetaMask, like to connect your digital wallet to a platform like OpenSea, which is, it's what the name is, the OpenSea. We like it. Yeah, let's go, right? Let's get everybody acknowledged and doing what they're passionate about, and let's get the communication on, you know, like, and the old paradigms that are hunkering people down, or the drama triangle, you know, like the victim, the persecutor, and the savior. Let's not play in that, because nobody wins in that. You know, the victim needs to become the creator. They need to, their skill is like problem solving. The savior, you know, the person who wants to rescue in any dynamics, they need to become the person who listens and not tries to save the day for someone so that they don't know how to save it themselves, like keeping the victim in the victim state. And then the persecutor, you did this wrong. They need to like chill, like, you know, how can I help? You know, kind of, it's interesting. I took a yoga class to learn how to become a yoga teacher, which I'm not sure I'll ever really know how to become a yoga teacher unless I start doing yoga every day. Today I did meditate when I woke up. So I'm slowly, if I could do it every day, Akshat. Do you meditate?
Absolutely, yes. I've been doing it for past 1 year.
Every day?
Not every day, but yeah, I've been doing it for past 1 year almost. I learned it and started doing it. It's fantastic. Like,
it matters, doesn't it? It's important.
Especially if you're into creative profession. It just opens up, it just puts a person into flow. What do you think?
Yes, breathing, just to know how to breathe properly, or just sit and not be like you know, technology, as you know, how everything's moving so fast, you can be like a hamster on a wheel, or, you know, like, where am I going? I got to get, you know, like people are like manic, like NFTs, yoga NFTs. I want to see the yoga NFTs. Maybe I'm going to make some.
Certainly. Someday they're going to be out soon.
Do a meditation NFT, please. Akshat, would you film yourself and do it?
Definitely.
I think
why not? Great idea.
That would be cool. And I could do the music. I could, like, you know, I could do, let's see.
Wow.
Om Shanti. Om.
Wow, that was lovely. Fantastic. So Vessy, thank you for joining in today. And
Thank you, Akshat.
Any final message you would like to give to creators, to artists, to anyone who's watching this today?
Yes. The most important skill that anyone can learn in life, which I didn't make this up, but a dear collaborator friend of mine shared it with me recently, is don't give up. Keep going. That's the skill, right? Keep going. Don't give up. Don't ever give up, right? We got to keep going.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Vessy. Thank you so much for joining. It was lovely talking to you. I absolutely love your energy, and superb that your authenticity is superb. Like talking to you feels amazing.
So nice to meet you.